my darlings, I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. In today's video, well, I'm going to be taking you on a journey, a wild journey at that. So let me paint you a picture, okay? So it was a Thursday evening. I was mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, you know, looking at the dogs, looking at the cats, looking at some yummy food, looking at Real Housewives clips, you know, the usual things that I do in my downtime, right? And I got a message from this tattoo artist that I've spoke about in a couple of my videos. Her name's Emily. She is an absolute sweetheart, like literally the sweetest tattoo artist ever. I've never been tattooed by her personally, but I spoke to her a couple of times and the content she makes is incredible. Yeah, anyway, she sent me this TikTok on TikTok and she was kind of like, oh, you need to like look at this kind of thing. So I took a look at this TikTok and I was just like, oh wow. And then I ended up going on a massive deep dive into the story of the TikTok that I was sent, okay? I'm gonna take you on this journey with me and talk about, you know, my findings, my discoveries and all of that, okay? So let's get into this madness. The TikTok that Emily sent me was from a creator by the name of Sid. Sid uploaded a TikTok that had the caption, "Please help, is there anyone who helped me?" And then it has a bunch of hashtags like tattoo fails, tattoo, piplup, I hope I'm saying that right, tattoo artist. This is the TikTok in question. Paid £200 for a piplup tattoo. £200 for that. Okay, I saw that. I was like, are you joking? I could see why Emily would send me this. And, you know, like, I was just like, I'm sorry? On what planet? Like, how, what, where, when, what the hell, okay? Context for those who don't know what piplup is, because I didn't either, to be honest with you. It is a Pokemon. I have never really been interested in Pokemon, even as a kid. It wasn't my thing as a kid, and it still isn't today, to be honest with you. So I did have to Google what this thing was meant to look like, and it's basically a penguin. It's actually really, really, really cute. Like, this is freaking adorable, okay? And it's like a very small thing as well. 7.5 pounds. This thing is so small and so freaking cute. Like, I love it. And it's the baby Pokemon. That's what I call them. Like the first evolution of a Pokemon. I just call them baby Pokemons because, again, I don't know what the hell goes on within the Pokemon world. I'm so sorry. But then it turns into a bigger penguin looking thing, and then an even bigger penguin looking thing, okay? All very cute and adorbies, okay? And then this is another picture that I got from the internet. I was just like, this is so cute. So if you compare the tattoo to what it actually is meant to look like what the hell happened here? I was shooketh when I saw this. I was like, how the hell can you mess up something like this? I'm not an artist as such, you know, I dabble in Procreate every now and then, but like in my brain, I feel like drawing imagery like this piplup would be kind of easy, right? Like, it's kind of basic when it comes to like the outline. Like, it's not super complex or anything like that. So I'd imagine like the majority of artists wouldn't struggle so much with this. I may be misspeaking, but I feel like this could be kind of easy to draw, kind of easy to tattoo. So I just don't understand how this went so wrong. It's so wrong. And it's not even the design of it, it's the execution of it as well. Like, that line work is atrocious. It's quite literally all over the place. There is not one smooth, solid line there. And I just started to feel so bad for Sid, because I was just like, spending £200, which is a lot of money, on that is just outrageous. Like, £200 for a very, very basic line work, whatever the fuck that is basically unheard of in the UK, and especially for that quality. Like, you would get that type of tattoo in a very dodgy tattoo studio for 50 quid. Like, so I was reading through the comments of this TikTok just to see what the hell was going on here, right? There's this tattoo artist called Holly who does incredible tattoos. She does quite a lot of Pokemon tattoos, so it's so funny that, you know, she'd come across this and saw this. And she said, I need to up my prices for real. What the hell? Because, like, I don't know how much Holly charges or anything like that. But, like, if you compare her Pokemon work to this, you know, like, you'd probably want to spend £200 on Holly's work, right? Like, I mean, she probably maybe charges a bit more than that for her bigger pieces or what have you. And then another tattoo artist commented saying, oh my god, where are you located? I'm on maternity leave right now, but my style of Pokemon tattoos would fix this perfectly. My prices are also a lot less than this. You'd be looking at less than £100, which that made sense to me because I was just like, who the fuck is charging £200 for that? The price is higher than tattoo apprentices and they come out worse than a 5-year-old. Please get your money back. Which I agree with. Like, there's apprentices that can do, well, the majority of apprentices can do way better than this, you know, if they've been trained correctly. Someone else said, did you get a refund? Because what? And then Sid said, nah. I'd be demanding my money back if this was me. Someone else said, what the fuck even happened? And as I was reading through the comment section, I started to notice that Sid was kind of giving hints as to the type of tattoo artist that Sid went to. And I was just like, oh my god, this is actually so freaking bad. So someone said, what does the tattoo artist do for a living? Sid said, drugs. And then someone said, can you not just tell them to stop mid-tattoo? And then Sid said, they were scaring me, they got tweaky. And then someone else said, why does someone even pay for this? And Sid said, they threatened me. And I read that and I was just like, oh my gosh, here we go again. We have a terrible tattoo artist on the loose, literally scarring someone for life with a terrible tattoo, threatening their clients, potentially, you know, using drugs around their clients. I was just like, oh my god, here we go again. I swear there is no weeks of peace as of late. Like, it's just terrible artists all over the place, right? So then Sid uploaded a part 2, a story time about their tattoo appointment, okay? And you are truly not prepared for what you're about to hear, okay? Like, this is one hell of a tattoo story time. So Sid put in the caption of this TikTok, I was genuinely scared for my life. If anyone has any advice, drop in comments.
It's not satire. I wish this was satire. So a few months ago, I booked an appointment for this French piplup tattoo, and it all sounded good. He quoted me 150. I ended up paying 200, but whatever.
With peace and love, that tattoo quality is not even worth £150, okay? Like, it's not even worth £60. Like, I would not pay more than, like, I don't know, £40 for that tattoo personally, because, like, what even, like, it's so bad. And watching this, I was so genuinely pissed off for Sid. The fact that Sid was quoted £150, but then had to pay £200 and was threatened to pay that £200 if we refer back to the comment about how Sid was threatened. If a tattoo artist quotes you an amount and doesn't keep to that amount without communicating that to you, ooh, red flag. If the tattoo artist thinks it's going to be more expensive, they have to tell you that before they carry on doing whatever it is they're doing. So for example, you're having work done on a back piece, you're booked in for 4 hours in the morning, and then your tattoo artist gets a message and their next client has had to cancel for whatever reason. And then obviously that frees up some time for you to carry on your back piece if you want to. Then obviously that's going to equate to more money because your tattoo artist will be working on your back piece for longer and they obviously need to be paid for that. So a tattoo artist should say to you, hey, I've now got some more time this afternoon to carry on doing your back piece. However, obviously I will have to charge for that. Are you okay with that? Or should we stop when we're meant to stop? And they should also tell you how much extra that's going to be and all of that, okay? Like, a tattoo artist has to communicate this with you. They cannot surprise you at the end of a tattoo appointment with an extra £200, 300, 400, whatever it is, because it's just not fair on you, and they should not expect you to be able to afford that because life is incredibly expensive as of lately. I mean, when hasn't it been? But especially lately, you know, everything is so much more expensive. Tattoos are very, very much a luxury item for the majority of people, and I'm sure, again, most tattoo artists are very, very aware and understanding of that. But the ones that aren't, and the ones that just like charge you extra at the end of your tattoo appointment without even telling you after they've already quoted you something, I don't know, it's just really shitty in my opinion. And also especially in the UK, so Sid does live in Wales, and the majority of tattoo studios are still cash only. Some now do accept payment through like PayPal or, you know, bank transfer or what have you, but still a lot are cash only. So if Sid didn't have that extra £50 on them, and especially like reading the comments about how this tattoo artist is, like, it could have been absolutely freaking awful, and I just felt awful for Sid.
And it was like it was like a trap house in there.
A trap house. You're gonna get tattooed in a trap looking house. What? I would have done a 180 and gone the hell back out. I would have been like, no, absolutely not. No, thank you, not today. For those of you that don't know what a trap house is, it's a place where illegal drugs are sold. The visualization that I had in my head when Sid said trap house was Jesse Pinkman's house in Breaking Bad. And that house is not the conditions anybody should be getting tattooed in. Like, absolutely filthy. It may not have been as bad, or it could have been worse, but in my opinion, if a tattoo studio doesn't smell like green soap and the floors aren't sparkling clean, then get the hell out of there. Absolutely freaking not. And all of this is just the cherry on top of the cake to Sid's story, okay? Like, it gets so much worse, and as you can imagine, even up to this point, I was so concerned.
I don't know why I didn't say anything, but we were walking in. The guy was really lovely, but the stencil went on, everything looked amazing, it was great. And he just started being so rough with the tattoo gun. It felt like he was ripping quite flesh and he was just grabbing at my leg. Horrendous. And I was like sitting through it, I was like, it's gonna be okay, I'm just gonna get it over, done with.
What the fuck? What the... So again, this is just like another massive red flag. I mean, you can tell by the quality of this tattoo that this tattoo was not done by a gentle person or a person who knows what they are doing. Like, it's glaringly obvious by the inconsistency throughout the tattoo and how some of the line work does look like it was done pretty deeply. It was, you know, right up in there. This again is where I felt so incredibly bad for Sid. My last video was about male tattoo artists just being absolutely dog shit. Like, they can be some of the worst human beings ever, and I just, like, I put myself into Sid's shoes and just thought, oh my gosh, like, I can't imagine how scary this would have been and just how much of an awful experience this whole situation would have been. You know, like, this kind of experience can, like, bring so much trauma to a person. And then, oh god, okay, and then this story just gets even wilder. Just I can't even, like, paint the picture of just, like, how I felt watching this next bit, okay? I just... Please.
And I heard a noise behind a cupboard in the corner, and like a rat just ran under where I was sitting, like just ran across the room, and I just got up.
A rat. A rat. A rat in a tattoo... A rat. Okay, a rat in a tattoo studio or house or whatever this establishment was, okay? It was in a building where tattoos were being done, all right? A rat. Now, I'm no rat hater. I think they are adorable. They're sweet little faces, they're tiny little feetsies and toes, and just, they're adorable, okay? They're so freaking cute, but in my opinion, there's a time and a place for a rat, okay? You know, like, there's a time and a place for a rat, okay? I don't think a tattoo studio is one of them personally. Like, with peace and love ratties, I do love a rat. Like I was saying, like, I'm not a rat hater. But I don't think they should be in tattoo studios roaming around, you know? Because, like, the wild ones can carry diseases and stuff. And that's just not very good for an establishment that is doing essentially a medical procedure, because you're dealing with open wounds and needles. Any type of cross-contamination, it can be deadly. That's not me being dramatic, I'm just spitting facts here. Like, tattoo infections can be deadly. And obviously with a rat running around, unless it's a pet rat that somehow escaped, which I highly doubt, something tells me it was like a wild rat, and the conditions in this trap house, tattoo studio, establishment, whatever, was that bad that there was rats in there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I was just like, oh my god, like, how bad was this place? And then I started Googling, like, rats in the UK and, like, how dangerous they can be. Like, I was fully, like, looking into this, and I come across this website called pestcontroldirect.co.uk, and I was looking into it intently, okay? I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Sid could have died here. Like, what kind of diseases do rats in the UK carry? I cannot even say that. Leptospirosis. Wales disease, okay? The bacterial infection can be contracted through contact with rat urine or contaminated water. It can lead to symptoms such as high fever, muscle pain, jaundice, and potential severe complications. So, like, if this rat had peed anywhere in the tattoo station area, and then the tattoo artist touches that area, then touches the tattoo area, that could have been so dangerous for Sid. And then salmonellosis, oh God, I can't say it. Rats can contaminate food and surfaces with salmonella bacteria, leading to symptoms like diarrhea, abdominal pain, fever, and vomiting. Nobody wants that. Rat bite fever, the bacterial infection can be transmitted through bites or scratches from infected rats. Symptoms include fever, joint pain, rash, and in some cases, serious complications. So once I looked into all of this, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Sid was so incredibly lucky because they could have easily got a tattoo infection and ended up in hospital, could have been, you know, put into a coma, could have died from sepsis. Like, I was truly worried for Sid and so grateful that they, you know, were very, very lucky in their escape, okay?
This is how much we got through before I had to leave, and yeah. So if there's anyone who could help me get to this, anyone who knows the artist, or if there's any lawyers who can help me sue this guy, because I mean, I should have left. I don't know what to do.
So watching that last bit of the TikTok, I was like, you know what? For everything Sid has gone through, they are scarred for life. They were put in danger. The tattoo artist was an absolute arsehole and threatening them. There was rats. God knows what else was going on in that studio. So when Sid said about legal action, I was like, you know what? You probably maybe have a leg to stand on, right? However, Sid has no proof of all of this, but apart from the dodgy tattoo, it may be pretty tricky to take legal action against this tattoo artist. The best that they could do is go to environmental health and be like, yo, like, this tattoo studio is an absolute freaking mess. It needs to be shut down bare minimum, like bare freaking minimum, okay? However, this part of this TikTok was surprisingly, you're probably watching this being like, Lauren, there was so many red flags going on throughout this story time. But sometimes it takes me a while to clock onto things, okay? But yeah, this part of the TikTok where Sid was mentioning legal action, I personally thought that was a little bit strange because here in the UK, we really aren't like lawyer happy. We don't really sue people. I mean, it happens, obviously. Otherwise, we would have no lawyers in the UK. Well, I mean, there's other lawyers other than those that deal with cases like this, right? We have like divorce lawyers, criminal lawyers and all of that, okay? But yeah, in the UK, situations like this never really, you know, get taken to court as such. Like, we just don't bother with that whole thing. It seems to be a very prevalent thing in the United States, but in the UK, it doesn't really happen that often, you know? So that kind of made me go, that's kind of weird. But then I was just like, well, I kind of get it. Like, Sid went through a lot. But like, it just made me go, that was a bit strange. And you can probably tell by the way I'm speaking about this whole story. I'm not reporting on it so seriously like I would normally because there's obviously a reason, okay? Like, there's a reason as to why. So moving on from the story time TikTok, there is another TikTok from Sid that says, on my way to talk to a tattoo artist about getting my tattoo fixed. And then in the caption for this TikTok, it says, for free. So when I saw this, I was just like, yes, okay, great. I love that for Sid. They're getting, you know, this tattoo fixed for free because they've already spent £200. That's really nice of a tattoo artist to volunteer their time and their resources, their equipment and all of that, you know? And then in Sid's next TikTok, they reveal this touch up, cover up, whatever you want to call it, of this pip-up tattoo. Enjoy. The leather unwrapped sofa was my biggest indication that this was not done by a professional tattoo artist. In the UK, you have to have your tattoo equipment wrapped with plastic wrap, cling film, whatever you would like to call it. It's pretty much, I think, basically the law. Like, you have to do it. I know in some states in America you don't have to do it, but UK, it's you have to do it. That's when my flag started waving again. I was just like, ugh. Also, the big baggy gloves. You will not see any decent tattoo artists in the UK tattooing with big baggy gloves. You'll always see decent tattoo artists in the UK wearing those super tight gloves. There is no baggy hair dye gloves, because that's what they look like to me. They look like hair dye gloves that you get in box dyes. I would know. My roots need to be done every 2 bloody weeks. I don't know. Or they look like meat gloves, you know, like when you go to like a butcher's and a butcher will just, you know, slide on some gloves to grab your... I can't say grab your meat. But you know what I mean? Like, well, I was about to say sausages. This doesn't get any better. Whatever. Okay. The gloves were baggy. Not a professional glove in sight. Okay. And then the tattoo. Okay. Like, can we just... I mean, it's a little bit of an improvement, that's for sure, but it's really not. Like, it's really, really not. Like, the bubbles above Piplup, not a circle in sight. There is no smooth circle going on there at all. Button area on the stomach, they're not even at all, okay? And just the solid black work throughout this tattoo, also absolutely atrocious. It's incredibly patchy. It's just not good. I mean, it looks a bit better. But it's not professional quality, let's be serious. So the way that this video has been posted on TikTok, it's a reply to a comment. And the comment says, if you're in Wales, pull up and I'll sort it. And then the caption for this TikTok is, thank you so much Twinkly Unit for fixing my Piplup tattoo for free. So that is an indication that this person is the tattoo artist that did the Piplup tattoo. So I wanted to take a look at their profile to see if there's any indication of how long they've been tattooing, or if they're a tattoo apprentice or self-taught. Like, I wanted to look through their profile just to see, you know, what the deal is with all of this, okay? Within seconds of looking at their profile, okay? I mean, from the screenshot, can you see something here? This wasn't a random run-in with a random tattoo artist. Oh no! This is Sid's friend, okay? This is Sid's friend. They have been friends for what seems quite a while. There's plenty of TikToks on Twinkly Unity TikTok page. So yeah, massive indication that they are friends. And I was like, right, okay, I see what's been going on here. It's very, very evident that Sid knew this person, but they pretended to not know each other for this rework of the tattoo. So I then went back to the TikTok of the grand reveal of this Piplup tattoo to look through the comments, see if anyone else had actually clocked onto this. I'm not alone. There was only a couple of comments though. So someone said, did you go to the same artist? Because again, the rework is not that great, so I can see why someone would ask such a thing. And then someone said, I think they did actually. If you go to that person's page, they have TikToks together going back before the first tat. Likely the first post was just bait for engagement. Someone else said, so the tattoo artist that fixed it and asked if you lived in Wales also conveniently has many videos with you on their page going back a long time. And you expect us to think it was a random encounter? It doesn't look good, and this is why you should go to professionals. So one of two things has happened here, okay? The first part about Sid going to a trap house, paying £200 for this terrible quality tattoo, and all the rest of it, you know, the rat and God knows what, and the rough tattoo artist, is true. That actually happened. And then Sid and Twinkly made a plan for Twinkly to fix this tattoo, but to make it into content and make, you know, lightness out of a bad situation, you know, carry on the story, but kind of, I don't know, play into it or what have you. This I doubt highly though. I highly doubt it. Scenario number 2 is the fact that this was all a big rage bait fake story time situation. Twinkly did the first part of the tattoo and then they stopped for whatever reason, and Sid just made this random TikTok because, hey, thought it would be funny, you know, ooh, I paid £200 for this really crappy tattoo, and kind of just like schemed and orchestrated this whole scenario, again, for content, for views and what have you. That to me is the most likely part. This whole thing is so incredibly phony, fake. It's all just for views and what have you. God. And I have got to say, Sid did get me in the first part. I was genuinely worried, genuinely concerned. I was just like, oh my God, like this is so terrible, because it was believable to me because of the amount of content I have made about male tattoo artists being absolutely terrible. And I'll give it to Sid for doing something completely different from, you know, a fake face tattoo, because I freaking hate those, you know, engagement farming, rage bait, tattoo content video. But what Sid has done is still rage bait, it's still engagement farming, and I hate it. I literally hate it. I hate rage bait with a passion. Like, I absolutely freaking hate it. It's just like, have you got nothing else to offer? You know, like, if you've got nothing else to provide content-wise, like, why do you have to do this? Like, with rage bait content with the fake face tattoos, I just get pissed off. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, really, can we not think of something else? But, like, this is rage bait gone too far, because you're literally, you know, making a mockery and making a joke out of those that actually have been in this type of situation. I've covered it plenty of times. Again, mentioned it for the third time, but my previous video was about male tattoo artists being absolutely disgusting creeps, okay? Sid basically lied and made a joke out of serious stuff that people go through and stuff that people get trauma from, okay? Sid said they threatened me. Like, how many of you that have been threatened by a man finds this funny? If you think about it. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not something you should be, like, making a joke out of or making content on. Just for views. Like, and Sid has just taken it so lightheartedly and basically just ran with this wave of views, because their first TikTok about the, you know, 200-pound pipple up tattoo got a lot of views. Then obviously Sid made this story time to make up an elaborate story behind what had happened and the environment that Sid got this tattoo in, and we all know how ruthless the internet can be, right? This could have gone so far as to start a witch hunt for this supposed tattoo artist, with people trying to find out Sid's precise location and then find tattoo artists in that location. And then a load of people harass these tattoo artists and say, oh my gosh, like, what you did to this Sid person is atrocious. And then this tattoo artist that is being attacked by loads of people are just gonna be like, what are you even talking about? Like, I didn't do this tattoo. What are you even on about? And this does happen. It happens all the time, especially when people have stories like the tattoo artist threatened me, they were hurting me, there was a rat in the studio. Like, people who watch this type of content love to seek justice and go after these types of people. Again, it starts a freaking witch hunt. And sometimes, understandably, I understand why people do it, you know? But so there's like comments like this that were like, so this was an actual artist, what the fuck? And Sid said, yes, girl, like, what the helly? Someone said, we need to know where in Wales this is so we can avoid them. Another comment said, name and shame. And then this one said, was this tattoo in or near Holyhead? Did his name start with R? And like, it's stuff like this that starts the rumour mill, you know, that, oh my gosh, so wait, tattoo artist in Holyhead starts with R. You could easily find that tattoo artist through Google, Instagram, whatever. And people will sometimes clock onto comments like this, and then that's how people get exposed, you know? Like, sometimes when I cover tattoo related content like this, where a person is telling a story about how a tattoo artist has done them dirty, but they don't mention the tattoo artist's name, it's comments like this that start to expose who the tattoo artist is, and then you'll be able to discover who the tattoo artist is through reading the comments, especially if the TikTok has a lot of views. I don't know, it's just very, very irresponsible to make up fake stories about fake tattoo artists, because you may hurt actual tattoo artists in the process for views. Like, what? And the fact that there are tattoo artists out there being so incredibly sweet and kind to Sid and offering their services and offering to help Sid, you know, by fixing it for free and what have you. There's comments like this that said, if you're ever likely to be around the Midlands, give me a shout and I'll sort it for free, because oh my god. If you're near Birmingham at all, let me know if you'd want it going over. So you probably want to let the skin settle a bit before tattooing over it again, as there might be some scar tissue forming from the heavy-handedness. I'd be happy to help you, but I may be far afield. I'm not sure where you're based, but I'm in Oxfordshire. And then someone else commented saying, you had like 20 artists willing to fix this too. So Sid could have easily took advantage of one of these tattoo artists that was offering to fix it for free. Like a professional tattoo artist, it could have gone into the studio and been like, oh yeah, you know, I had a terrible experience, and taken advantage of one of these very kind and caring tattoo artists that was willing to fix it for free, get a free tattoo out of all of this, and then walk out and just be like, haha, I got a free tattoo and I got loads of views on TikTok. Like, it's just so shitty. It's so bad. And I know some people are watching this and being like, oh god, Lauren, it's like, it's really not that deep, but no, it's just some harmless, funny, silly TikTok content. But like, I mean, I always like to say I have a good sense of humour. I really do. Like, I laugh at a lot of things. It's very, very, very easy to amuse me. Trust me. I don't know. There's just something incredibly icky about making content about how a tattoo artist, you know, threatened you, was very heavy-handed and, you know, hurt you purposefully. It's just so shitty because there's people that go through that, you know, like all the time. It's very, very common. I don't know. It's just so icky. Like, this to me is rage bait gone far too far. Anyway, at the end of the day, the real joke is on Sid, because Sid is stuck with that atrocious tattoo. You know, tattoos are forever, and so is being known as the person that made a joke out of something that is such a big problem within the tattoo industry. Like, imagine being known for that. Oh, and also for saying tattoo gun.
With the tattoo gun.
You all thought I let that one slip, huh? Not me. Not ever.
With the tattoo gun.
So yeah, I hope Sid enjoys the views and the comments and the interactions and the follows and all of that stuff. But doing it this way instead of being your authentic self, yikes. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this whole story and, you know, what happened here. And yeah, that is it for today. And until my next video, bye.